Mr. Mohammed Adoke, SAN. And I think he too is being represented, am I right? So represented by whoever it is. The Senate President was supposed to be here as well because of the importance of this event, but he is to be he's being represented by the Chairman, Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters, Senator Umaru Dahiru. And is he going to be here? Well, I'm still told that he's still in the way from far away, wherever it is. And the Deputy Senate President, Senator Ike Madu, I think he is supposed to be here as well. On the way. Okay, I think at least they will know that whenever they... Babatunde Raji, His Excellency Babatunde Raji Fashola, SAN, the Governor of Lagos, and he's being represented here by his Solicitor General of the Lagos State, one of those Nigerian Brazilian extraction, Pedro Lawal, SAN. This one more. His Lordship, Chief Justice of the Federal High Court, Honorable Justice Ibrahim Auta, he's on the high table, we recognize him, and the representative of the Federal Minister of Finance, we got the representative here still on their way. I think the ministries, are far away and traffic, especially the security check here, probably must have taken some time. And Mrs. Sarah, is it Pane or Payne? She's the special advisor to the President on Special Duties and Development. I don't know whether the surname is Payne or Pane, or the Nigerian, but if it's English, we say Payne. If it's Nigerian, we say Pane. My Lords, spiritual and temporal, I understand that there is Managing Director of EdNet. Now, which is EdNet? Is it the cell phone that we use, or is it the DSTV? DSTV. Oh, I see. Okay, so Mrs. Biola Alabi, thank you. The Director General, of course, of the Nigerian Copyright Commission, Mr. Afam Zekube. Now, there are so many very important people here, both Nigerians and non-Nigerians. And honestly, I do not know the correct protocol for you, so I use that Nigerian parlance that says all protocols duly observed. But I think would allow me to mention Sunny Nechi for that beautiful performance we've just had. Thank you. And I'm highly honored and delighted to be invited by the Director General, Nigerian Copyright Commission, to be part of this special occasion, the official launch of the reform of the copyright system in Nigeria. When the Director General of the Nigerian Copyright Commission approached me some few weeks ago and requested my involvement and participation at this event, it was not difficult for me to accept the invitation because I could readily identify with and share the vision of the Commission bring about change to protect the interest of Nigerian writing and authorship groups, as well as performance, like the musician we just seen, and of course people like the Nollywoodians, because they are the upcoming and most vibrant sectors of our nation's economic life. Nigeria is highly creative. It's a highly creative society, budding with creative talents, cutting across ethnic, geographical, social, economic strata. Creativity is one activity that not only unifies, but also finds expression in our common ethos as a nation and people. It is also an impetus to our future growth and participation in the emerging global information and knowledge economy. The copyright system is the framework globally acknowledged as the basis for generating and sustaining creativity. The underlying philosophy of copyright protection, as I have come to understand, is the need to adhere to fundamental rule of natural justice, that every person be guaranteed the fruits of his or her labor. The corollary to this axiom is that no one should be allowed to steal another's work or unduly exploit the sweat of another's hard labor. Of course, those of you who went to university, you know that sometimes that is called plagiarism. The author, composer, performer, or visual artist, like other members of society, should be allowed a conducive environment to exploit the products of his or her creative enterprise. I recall soon after I assumed office as head of state in 1966, my attention was drawn to and realized the need to take a close look at some of the legislations which Nigeria had inherited from the colonial administration as regards copyright laws and acts. We observe that the British Copyright Act of 1911, which was then applicable in Nigeria by virtue of the Statute of General Application of 1912, was alien to Nigerian interests in the 1960s and did not satisfy the need of our domestic creativity and creative community. However, it was a very difficult period at that time. But apart from the fact that the sanctions for infringement of the rights were hopelessly out of date and tune at the time, the Act was also inadequate in tackling challenges posed by new technologies of mass duplication of creative work which were beginning to develop. Consequently, we promulgated the revised Copyright Decree of 1970, which was the first indigenous copyright statute for Nigeria. Mid-1960s, of course, was a very difficult period when Nigeria was involved with the Civil War. And of course, we couldn't do anything that time, but as soon as the war was over, I think the whole thing was brought to our attention, we brought it back, and something was done about it. That decree that came in 1970, Copyright Decree of 1970, continued until 1988, when the present Copyright Act was eventually enacted. It is pertinent to note that in the emerging global economic order, driven by innovation and knowledge-based goods, the relevance of copyright protection has become more crucial to development of nations. The creative industries, authorship, arts, Nollywoodism, etc., have indeed contributed immensely to our economic advancement, providing employment opportunities to the teeming population of our vibrant youth and population. It is thus imperative that we build structures to promote and protect this important sector to secure a bright future for the present and future generations. Beside the need for protection of creative resources goes beyond a national issue. Nigeria, like other civilized nations, is obliged under the global trading system of the World Trade Organization to demonstrate the clear commitment to the enforcement of intellectual property, including copyright. This is why the current initiative for the reform of the copyright system must be considered a must and as a priority by all stakeholders in the creative environment. I am particularly impressed and happy by the array of key personalities in the public and private sector and all other stakeholders here present to launch this initiative. It is indicative of the urgency which the reform portends for us as a nation. We all have a stake in building a virile copyright system that will ensure the creators and innovators begin to reap a just reward for their investment of talent and energies. Investors in the creative sector also deserve the assurance that their investment will be secured in Nigeria, as in many other parts of the world that are presently leveraging on their creative resources. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would like to end this short remark by urging you all to join hands with the Nigerian Copyright Commission and the federal government in ensuring that the reform process is a success. This is your opportunity to contribute to a robust Nigerian copyright laws and act. Yesterday evening when I was coming in here to the hotel, along the road, of course, the street vendors, they came to my window. It is one of those darkened windows. But they were showing, I wanted to draw my attention to it. And I said to myself, my goodness gracious me, this book has already been pirated and being sold, in the street like that. I wonder whether Chima Achebe will be getting any payment for the sale of those books. Certainly he won't be getting them. But all the same, this is very prevalent in Nigeria today. And it is something that I think we've got to guard against. And I think this is why, you are all here to help us launch, this particular copyright exercise. So I hope that you will contribute to the deliberations and the launching of this copyright event. So I would like to once again thank the Nigerian Copyright Commission for giving me this opportunity to be part of this new, great and important event. Yes, we started it in we thought of it in 1966. We came with the first Nigerian one in 1970. Of course, a lot of changes have taken place, and this is the reason why you have to now look at what is happening not only in Nigeria but throughout the world in order to revise those copyright laws and acts to bring them to modern the standard, to be able to protect all our artists, authors, writers, artists, Nollywood. And let me tell you this, it was during my visit to the Caribbean, Australia and Ceylon, Sri Lanka, during our attempt to try and get the Commonwealth Games to Nigeria, that I was struck by the interest the people in the Caribbean and also in Europe had as far as Nigerian films were concerned. The Nollywood film is really one of the greatest demand, has one of the greatest demand. And they will be asking us, have we got some for them? And so when some of that delegation came to Nigeria, one of them told me the first thing he did was to go to the various shops looking for a number of Nollywood films, records, etc. And also to some of the music shops, etc. to get some of the Nigerian songs, etc. I'm sure for somebody, they must have been looking, I don't know whether, Neji, you are old enough at the time to produce some album. Have you got an album, Neji? Sonny? Have you got an album, have you? You have several. Well, I'm sure probably you must be one of those, your album must have been one of those that was being demanded by the studio. But that is just to show you how really good Nigerian creativity is. And it has a very good image. I think it's giving a very good run to not only Hollywood, but is the best, but I'm told there is one called Nollywood somewhere. What the Copyright Commission is doing is to protect your interests now and for the future. So thank you all very much for coming, and I'm really impressed with the turnout, because I think practically every seat is, has been taken from what I can see from here. And I think we have an whole array of people, and I like some of their haircuts. It is not you that I'm referring to.
Lagos State, Pedro, SAN, the DG, AFAM, of SCC, and the lady in red, music, The Lady in Red. I know Alice can sing that for her later. And there's Mr. Bam, I can recognize him. His half-breed is one of the lawyers. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to be here at this occasion of the launch of the reforms of the Nigerian copyright system. I commend the DG of the Nigerian Copyright Commission for allowing me the opportunity to make this brief remark. As many of you may be aware, the jurisdiction, including copyright, is constitutionally vested. This decade, the Federal High Court has witnessed an increase in the number of cases on copyright. This social growth and rising profile of Nigerian creative beneficiary of the copyright system. Furthermore, the involvement for the protection of creative outputs, there exists moral, social, and economic justification for such protection. As a fundamental rule of natural justice, every man deserves from unauthorized exploitation. That is why the law confers on authors of such works the exclusive right to determine how the work may be used and enjoyed by third parties. Everybody is available for society's benefit. The present Copyright Act, C28, also the Federation of Nigeria 2004, makes provision for the protection of the many types of creative works and attaches a wide array of rights in favor of their authors. I also find some proactive provisions which stands the legislation out from the usual norms of the law. Section 43 creates certain rebuttable presumptions regarding the proof of ownership and substance of copyright in a work in an action for an infringement of copyright. These provisions are obviously designed to reduce the challenges of enforcement of rights and make litigation in copyright cases less prone to technicalities. However, I must observe that the Act still needs to be examined to bring some of the provisions in line with the realities of our time, with the YouTube's, internet, and the rest. The penalties for infringement of copyright still remains very, very low and does not reflect the underlying philosophy of the criminal justice system of ensuring deterrence of the offenders. Well, I hope the DG will do something about that. I also observe that the provisions of the current law may not sufficiently address some of the emerging modes of infringement spurred by new technologies, particularly infringement which takes place on digital networks, environments like the internet. It is against the foregoing background that I consider the initiative of the Nigerian Copyright Commission as timely and instructive. Attention. I urge the Commission and the reform team to consider, among others, establishing. That's very good. It means more people are being recognized. And you know, yes, are becoming popular. They don't even mind that their works are being pirated. But I think we should get it right. That's why sometimes even the attitude of the authors help to increase this type of piracy. And the Nigerian author will say that the more the merrier, the more that is in the market because I'm popular, but he doesn't know that he's changing himself and the society. There's also the need for building of capacity among enforcement officials, as well as those involved in the adjudication of copyright cases, particularly practicing lawyers and members of the bench. It is only when these are successfully put in place that the underlying gains of the copyright system can be realized. Once again, I thank the Director General of the Nigerian Copyright Commission for giving me the opportunity to be part of this great event, and assure the Commission of the cooperation of the Federal High Court in achieving the goals of the proposed reform of the Nigerian copyright system. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, Honorable Justice Ibrahim Auta.
Your Excellency, General Yakubu GCFR, the Honorable Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, Coram Ibrahim Auta, the representative of the Honorable Attorney General and Minister for Justice of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, my friend, Paya Sote, the Director General himself of the Nigerian Copyright Commission, Mr. Afam Ezekudi, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you are all important. Permit me to stop at this juncture and adopt the existing protocol laid down by His Excellency from the Mr. President down to the DG and our invited guests. Let me seek your indulgence for us to first of all apologize on behalf of His Excellency the Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. To say I should tell Mr. Biggie, apologize again that he's unable to attend personally. If he had choice, he would have been loved to be here himself. And my second apology is also that I came in a bit late when Mr. Chairman, His Excellency already here, and the Lord, the Honorable Chief Judge was sitting. I also apologize for that. It's not in our character in Lagos State. In fact, I was in yesterday. But today, also, we have a very important function in Lagos, which is a public interest law partner, the Senior Advocate of Nigeria here. In this presentation, whatever good you find there, please attribute it to His Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, my learned brother Silk, and my boss. For any fault there, just attribute it to me, and I take full responsibility. It is with great delight that I am here this morning as the keynote speaker at this public launch of the reform of the Nigerian copyright system. As a member of the Nigerian Bar, in particular the Inner Bar, and the head of government of a state in the Federation, I take more than passing interest in issues of copyright in our beloved country. To start with, I must commend the Nigerian Copyright Commission for this noble initiative to reform the Nigerian copyright system. A fundamental metric of human system is dynamism. Human beings are a perpetual state of evolution. It is therefore only natural that a legal system which seeks to regulate human affairs must also be dynamic in order to effectively meet the changes in the society. On the 19th day of December 1988, when the Extant Copyright Act was promulgated as Decree 47 of that year, most of the gadgets that have now become part and parcel of our daily life were yet to be invented. Now, with great advances being made in the past 20 years or thereabouts in the field of science and technology, with the super explosion in digital technologies, and with novel media being discovered on daily basis. Our law